So we have another question from, this one I think is from one of the people who's doing the SAFE course. Okay, so this, and they're in Sweden. Okay, yeah, so he says, I'm a keen follower of Sravasti Abbey's teachings online, and I have a question. Is it possible for a dedicated layperson to reach full enlightenment? I know the Buddha nature is there for all of us, but this question keeps coming to me, so I had to ask. Thank you for your wonderful teachings. Okay, yeah, so this question comes up a lot from the perspective of the Mahayana. Yes, it's possible for a layperson to attain full awakening. Yeah, from the Theravada perspective, it's not. They say that you have to be a monastic, and they also would say that a layperson can become an arhat, but they would have to take monastic vows within a week after becoming an arhat. Otherwise, their life would end, because the power of, to hold the power of being an arhat, you need the base of the pratimoksha vows, the ordination. But the Mahayana approaches it in a different way and says everybody has the Buddha nature. So, you know, depending on if you how well you practice, if you practice, you know, how you dedicate and so on, then yes, it's possible for lay people to attain full awakening in the same way that it's possible for monastics too. Good ethical conduct is essential whether you're a layperson or a monastic. Yeah, so saying, oh, I'm a layperson, I can still attain enlightenment, doesn't mean you can go out drinking and drugging and spend your time watching TV and, you know, going roller skating and football games and everything else and expect to attain full awakening. No, you know, I mean, you have to keep good ethical discipline, and then you have to devote your life really to Dharma practice. Okay, so from that perspective, having the monastic precepts makes things much easier, because you've already decided that the Dharma is the main focus of your life, and you've cut out a lot of the extraneous activities that would keep you from practice. Yeah, but in Tibet itself, there's the example of many lay people who have attained full awakening. Milarepa is probably the most famous amongst them. So I was talking with somebody yesterday who was saying, you know, that we so often get the example, we come into Buddhism, we get the example of Milarepa, and he just, you know, was off in his cave doing his meditation full time and got fully enlightened in this very life. And so we get the idea, oh, that's what I have to do to practice the Dharma, where's the cave? Okay, and I'm just going to go do really long retreat and that's it. And that's, you know, kind of our fantasy in some way, or maybe His Holiness might even include this under propaganda, in the sense that you know, if you really listen to the Milarepa story, he practiced for many, 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 many lifetimes before that last lifetime when he went off to the cave to meditate. So even though the early part of his lifetime was spent in a lot of confusion and negativity, he had a lot of merit behind him, a lot of purification. He had done a lot of study and practice in previous lives. Yeah, whereas we come into the Dharma, we may not have done all of that in previous lives. So we may think, okay, you know, where's my cave? I'm going off to practice as a solitary practitioner. And we may stay in a cave, you know, and then we leave, but our mind, you know, after a few years of meditation, but our mind hasn't changed very much. Yeah. So the thing is, you know, when you look at your path, and consider that it's going to take it's going to happen over many lifetimes, then you'll know that in certain lifetimes, according to the situation you find yourself in, you may emphasize one thing more than another. So some lifetimes you really emphasize study, and some you emphasize service, and some maybe purification practice, and some creation of merit, and some teaching, and some building a Sangha community, and some, you know, and so you emphasize different things in different lifetimes. Yeah, and also within one lifetime, you can see here on our yearly schedule, we emphasize different aspects of the path at different times of the year. We have a retreat time and we have an active time. Okay, so I think it's good to have that broader perspective, and I really think we need more kind of role models in the West to introduce people to, because we usually get either Milarepa or J Rinpoche, you know, and you know, or we get Guru Rinpoche, you know, Padmasambhava, or maybe we get you know, Sakya Pandita, but you know, these are all highly realized people who not only have done a lot of pure practice this lifetime, but many, many previous lifetimes. Yeah, so we hold them up as role models, but we also have to realize that they're role models and they started out at a different place than we're starting out. Yeah, and so not to get discouraged by, you know, we practice a few years and think, well, they got enlightened in a few years, why can't I? Well, you know, and then we get discouraged and throw things away. So that's not very useful to have that kind of attitude, you know, but to really think over what they did over many, many lifetimes, and then we're also going to be doing that over many, many lifetimes. And then that enables us to hold more firmly to the long-range goal, you know, and remain satisfied with how we're practicing in this life, but at the same time, really, you know, being energetic and diligent in our practice. Okay?